Good evening. Do you believe in ghosts? Sure you don't. Only a smart man believes in things they could see. I get that. But surely you or someone you know has experienced things that you just can't explain. Is it a sixth sense? Is it all in our heads? Join me the entire month of October as I sit down with other comedians and artists to share our own personal ghost stories. This is Night Sweats of the Gray Variety. We're back, believers and non-believers alike. I am the knight in gray sweats himself, Frank Ulloa. Welcome to our very special Halloween episode and series finale. We made it, episode 5. So far, we've covered sleep paralysis, ghost tours, ghost movies, and I feel like we haven't even got started. Today, we got a real special guest who I'll get to in a minute. But first and foremost, I want to introduce my co-host who's got a camera on him now. So you guys know what he looks like. Before this, he could have been a ghost for all you guys know. Josh.
What's going on?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Co-host. I didn't know I was co-hosting.
Well, I guess that's technically the title,
I guess that is
right?
what I'm doing, huh?
Just take it, man.
I know.
I think ratings are going to go up now that we got a fucking... I love a producer camera. It feels like a real show now.
Yeah. Jamie doesn't even got a camera on him, does he?
No, they used to, I think, but I think they stopped doing that.
Yeah. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great.
I'm okay, man. Last night, a little fun, huh?
Yeah, last night was fun.
Yeah,
I drank too much.
I love that he didn't ask you how you were doing. You just said, I'm pretty good, man.
Me too. No, well, we were here together last night, and that's the gift and the curse of coming to work on your night off, is that I drink for cheap, but that just means that I drink more. So my plan was to leave very early last night. That didn't happen.
Nah, same here. The drinks are already pretty cheap here, and so I was buying them up.
Yeah, man. Well, with no further ado, since he already broke the fourth wall and jumped into the conversation.
You said I could talk, man. I asked you.
You're right.
I said, should I shut up until you say my name? You said, there's no rules here. I took that to heart, and now I think you're upset with me.
It's the Wild West. There's really no rules here. You can say what you want. The ghost can speak during this hour.
Okay, all right.
It don't matter. But for those of you, I mean, a lot of you guys know this guy already, but for those of you that don't, you can find him on a podcast called The Dogs in Browntown.
Dogs of Browntown.
Dogs of, yeah. I
you
got
said
it.
in, that's fine. That's okay. Of, in, who cares?
On Browntown, right?
Dogs of.
Okay, Dogs of Browntown. Lesser known characters, formerly the drummer for the Kill Tony show, currently the drummer for the Mad Peaceful band, Comedy Store, door guy, regular, my good buddy, Joel Jimenez.
Hello, hi. I'm glad you said regular, not paid regular. I'm not a paid regular there yet, but I do regularly go up there.
I almost said paid regular.
Yeah, we would have had to edit that out. I really honor the titles there, and it's weird. Sometimes you'll tell people I go up regularly at the store for your credit, and they'll go, he's a paid regular, and I fucking shrink into myself because if my peers who know what that means were around, I'd be very embarrassed because it's wrong.
Yeah, but you got to let them know, too, because there's other comics that say they perform regularly at the Comedy Store, and those are like bringer shows.
None of them do, yeah. They fucking, yeah, it's terrible, dude. Oh, you should see the group chat about some of these people.
For those of you that don't know what a bringer show, it's a show where you book comics not based on their talent, but how many people that they could bring, how many tickets they could sell. Anybody could get on those. And how does that work? They just rent the belly room out, or?
Yeah, I think they rent it out. But as you were saying that, since this is a ghost-themed podcast, I was thinking, do you think any ghosts are doing bringer haunts?
How would that work?
You get to haunt this place, you got to bring like 12 of your friends. And we'll give you like 10 minutes of scare time. By the way, how's your nerd audience for this show?
I think we got about 13 solid followers
13
right
nerds,
now.
cool. Well, for everybody, we're about to get more because your producers, we have fucking Miles Morales and then Spider-Man's fucking best friend over here. And we got the fucking Chicano Kingpin over here. And I didn't know that Champion made capri sweatpants either.
Kingpin was crazy.
Kingpin was crazy. Chapo.
Yeah,
I've had that in my head for about 10 minutes, and I said, let me get this out so that I can relax now.
That's good. We're gonna have to get you guys a shot of our producers here because that's spot on. Ram, do you wear a fedora when you go out dancing?
No.
See, already the fucking the references have gone too deep, and I don't understand. But yeah, but haha.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we go back a little bit, huh?
Yeah. How long you think we've known each other? Like,
Since I started doing comedy, which is about 5 years.
okay.
So I was on Kill Tony, and we seen each other there, but we knew each other from a little while before that.
Yeah, I think I saw you at a mic, and then and then you went up. You like won the wallet on Kill Tony once when we were sponsored by Ridge Wallet because you were carrying around your documents in a little Manila envelope.
That was pretty awesome, huh?
That was cool. It was very on brand for you. You took the vintage thing to a new level. You said, vintage wallet, I got you.
So what happened was on my first time getting on Kill Tony, they just happened to have like a Ridge Wallet sponsor thing that night. So Tony just happened. He said because I look frugally irresponsible or what fiscally, financially, whatever the fucking word is, not good with money. So he asked me what my wallet looks like. And at the time, I didn't have a debit card. I just had Apple Pay. And I would just carry my ID around to get into the comedy store.
Yeah.
So I had it in a little manila envelope that was kind of ripped.
Why even the envelope at that point? If you're just carrying your card around so it doesn't get scratched up?
Yeah,
it's not
partly
protecting it from breaking or anything.
It's
right?
not doing nothing for it,
Yeah.
but I just didn't want my ID just floating around in my pocket, I guess.
Yeah, you just
Sharp
wanted
corners.
to put a shirt on your ID, I guess.
Yeah, it was a ripped shirt, but anyway, I pulled it out, and Tony's like, "Wow, you can't write this stuff. This is awesome. We're gonna give you a Ridge wallet and $1,000," and that was cool.
Damn, you got $1,000?
Yeah,
Let me borrow like 20.
it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Do you still have the wallet?
Yeah, I still have the wallet.
All right.
And what's crazy is that I quit my job the very next week.
Really?
Yeah, $1,000.
Why? Because you got $1,000? God, we're so dumb. Because back then I probably would have done the same shit. Just like zero thought about the future. So small-minded with money. We're just like, oh, I got $1,000. Bye. Fuck you guys. I'm calling in rich.
Yeah, I'm calling in rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
now
mean,
look at us. Here we are in a fucking dive bar in the middle of the day.
bro, that was so much money at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, at least, I had never saved up that much money.
What were you doing? What was your job? Factory?
No, I was I was working at a warehouse as like a dispatcher. You know what I would do? I would weigh 18-wheel trailers. So I was the scale attendant.
Okay,
And it
cool.
was a good job. I was the supervisor of the warehouse. But that happened, and
I think you might have weighed a few of my friends' moms. Where's my camera?
where they at? No, I thought shit was gonna pop off. It wasn't even really about the $1,000. I was
just felt like the wheel was moving, like you had been seen.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. It did have that vibe. Now it actually has that effect on things.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, the Kill Tony push has gotten huge.
It's crazy.
But yeah, he's been very good to me and to you as well. How long were you on there for?
I want to say like 6 years, something like that. It was a while. Yeah, I should do the math one of these days. But like before I was officially on, I was kind of like loosely around for a little while before that. But I think I've been at the store now like at least 7 years. Just as a comic.
How'd you first get on Kill Tony? Were you just the drummer, or did you always have a mic? Or
no? So I was friends with this guy, my friend Pat. He used to do warm up for Roast Battle, and one night he had like a fucking really good set. Got a CD to Tony. Tony listened to it, called him up, was like, "Hey, I want you to be like the band leader." Brought him on. Pat was always like, "You should come to the store." I didn't have a car, so I would just roll with him, sign up, and then I got picked out of the bucket once, did all right, and then Tony's like, "Every time you're here, I want you to say hi to me." So I did, and then the belly room was tiny, so I didn't have a drum set small enough. And I found like a toy drum set at like a thrift store. It was good. It was wood and stuff. Put new heads on it. Hit up Pat. I was like, I got a drum set small enough now. He's like, let's do it. We did it on Monday. And then once I was there, I just like fell in love with the place and was like, I'll do whatever it takes to be here. Really like put in the work to like make myself useful. And it's weird because it was so fun, but it was a lot of work. Dude, we worked pretty... Before like there was like a budget or anything, we were running around fucking crazy trying to get costumes together, all that kind of shit. But yeah, it was fun, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was like a good. I'm really happy I did it. To this day, I'm still like grateful if anybody like recognizes me from anything. So I'm fucking happy about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and with Tony, I always say like it's a lot of like you really got to catch him on a good day, but when you do. Yeah, he's very good to people.
Yeah, for sure.
But
yeah,
he does have a weird way of inviting you in. Like you said, every time you come here, I want you to say hi to me.
You know, I wonder how many people he's told that just didn't. You know, like it was like a test, and they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever," and then they didn't. But I was like, "I'm fucking doing this," and I like did it and made sure, and like, you know, that's the sort of like shit that it takes, I guess, to be like, you know, to be around, and then also like. Have the skill and stuff to make yourself sort of irreplaceable for a while, or make yourself useful, or like I don't know. Yeah, it's just fucking sometimes you got to work for free for a while to like create something, you know? But,
yeah, oh, for sure.
But it was cool, and then I got to see like a lot of the country, some of the world, and it was fucking dope. It was some of the best times of my life, dude, to like I was traveling with my friends and like me and Jeremiah sharing hotel rooms and all that shit. It's fun, but we're still doing it. I mean, last night I did the improv with Chappelle Lacey, like, and it was me, him, my girlfriend, a bunch of other comics in the green room, and I was like, I'm really grateful to have this be my crew because it was like good vibes in the green room. I mean, I don't drink anymore. I don't care if people drink, but it was just like it's chill. No one's sloppy. It's not like getting out of hand and stuff. It was like I'm just really grateful for the group of people I have around me right now. Mm-hmm. There's that quote like, "Tell me who you're friends with, and I'll tell you who you are." I feel like I'm pretty stoked on that right now. So yeah, it's just I don't know. It's all been like really fun, and I'm grateful and happy for where I'm at right now. Yeah. Even to be here with you. Can I touch your knee?
Yeah. Wait, you thought I doubted that first? You're reassuring me?
To touch your knee?
No, that you're happy to be here?
No.
I knew you're happy.
I'm just letting you know. I think we don't compliment or tell our friends when we're like proud of them or that we're happy. I'm letting you know I'm happy to be here. I've always liked you, Frank.
Yeah.
Except for that one. No, I'm kidding. No,
Likewise. Yeah. I compare you a lot to like the favorite cousin that you see at a family party.
Hell yeah, I like that.
Anytime we run into each other, it's all love. But typically, when you come here, I'm working, and when I go to the comedy store, you're working. Yeah. So we don't got a lot of that time.
Yeah, we don't get to hang out. That's fine though. I feel like I'm at best in like short intervals.
Oh, same.
I feel bad for like the people that have to like be around me a lot because they start to see the inconsistencies in my mental health and shit like that.
Yeah. That's funny is that like, yeah, I'm the same way as I try not to hang out somewhere too long because I feel like the negative traits are going to start to shine through, right?
Fuck, dude. When I was drinking, I was around. I was like out till fucking 2, 3, just always around yapping. Now I just want to go home the second I'm done. I'm out.
We were talking about the Lyric Hyperion.
Yeah.
Which is one of the first places where you seen me before Kill Tony.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was very green at this stage of comedy.
Yeah.
So I was just hitting every different mic. I didn't know that Lyric Hyperion is like, it's in Silver Lake.
Yeah.
It's a little more artsy, a little more abstract. And
Not a lot of, with all due respect, back then, not a lot of punchlines.
Yeah. No, that's
Funny stuff, but a lot of, more weird than anything.
Yeah. That's what the place was. And that was me too. The act itself was ass and no one gave me anything.
I disagree.
But you seen where I was going with it, right?
I could feel the building blocks of something.
Yeah.
Plus, I related to you. I mean, like you said, I grew up around people like you. You seem, who you are feels very familiar to my like sort of life. And it was interesting because I won't burn the bit. Not that you probably do it anymore, but like you were doing this joke that was about your parents and something about boxing and footwork and shit like that. And the crowd really like pulled back because they thought, and I don't know, they were like offended by it or whatever. But in my mind, I was like, well, he's not saying this is okay. He's just reporting his life to you guys. He never said this is a good thing that happened. This is what happened. But I thought it was a good joke. I remember laughing out really loud and then being like the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the news reporter didn't commit the crime, you know?
But I'm the bad guy?
It was a domestic violence joke. And you know what's funny is that I didn't do it for a lot of years.
Yeah.
I did it last night, though.
Oh, cool. Fuck yeah.
And that's one thing I was talking to Vince Caldera in a past episode about is that it's always cool to revisit like old bits like that.
It's the best.
With current eyes.
Yeah, and more skill. And like, that's my favorite is like stealing from myself. It's fucking fun.
That's a crazy way to put it.
You go back into your old notes and you're like, oh, fuck, I wrote this. Now I have the skill to like tell this, or you learn something about the timing, whatever it is, or why it wasn't working. How did it go when you did it?
Last night?
Yeah.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been, you know, I got a different way of like entering it now. So
yeah, cool.
I think it's going to be back in the rotation.
It's just it's just telling the story of your life. You know, what the fuck? But the same shit happened with NWA and all those groups. It's like they were just reporting the shit they saw in their neighborhoods and people were like, oh my God, they're condoning violence, this and that. They're like, no, we're just like fucking telling you what it is. Like if you have a problem with the shit I'm saying, fix the bigger problem. Like don't go after the dealers, go after the fucking cartel, you know? It's not my fault.
That's a deep way of analyzing a
I'm
bad
fucking
job.
deep, man. I'm so deep this guy's on his phone over here. No, I'm kidding. Do it. I didn't mean to call you out. How's it going over there, co-host?
It's going great over here.
Do you have any questions?
No, I'm just trying to do the math on how long you were on Kill Tony.
Oh, fuck, sick. Keep doing that.
He's going episode by episode.
You think this guy'd be doing the math? All right, cool. Anyway,
neither of us fit in there. It's predominantly white and gay, as we talked about, or you got to be a little bit weird. So as it is, the bit was bad at the time, and nobody related to me. But I remember seeing you there, and I had already known you from Kill Tony, so I was like, you know, when you're early in comedy and you see someone you admire, you're like, oh, I'm gonna bring the best stuff right now. The set itself again fell flat. No one gave me nothing. But you told me later, like, no, I think that shit was solid. I think you got to stick with it.
I still stand by that.
Yeah.
But that's that's such an interesting thing, man. I was thinking about it today. Like when I first started, I would see dudes who were like, I'm not saying this was me and you, but like they were like maybe not famous, but they had like taken that next step up where they were sort of around. You'd see them, and fucking Dreamweaver would play when they'd walk in a room. It was like different. I was like, oh, because I wanted to be there, and like I was thinking about that. I think about it often. Yeah, whenever I meet like a younger comic or someone new, you know, I wonder who those people are for them, or like, to let them know that like in the next few years everything just becomes one mush, and you start to realize like even when I started, those people who I thought were ahead of me were still kind of living the same life that I was, just they had been doing it longer or whatever, you know. Nobody's really that different unless you're like getting like paid. And even those people, once they drop an hour, they have zero again. So
That's crazy.
I know.
It's a great accomplishment, but I've thought about that is like once you bank an hour, and your first hour is always going to be the best one because that's like 10 years of worth of material that you polished over time to get there.
Yeah.
Hour two almost feels like it might be a little bit more forced.
Yeah.
But some people write like that. Some people just write on another level.
Yeah, Bill Burr. I mean, especially now, I think there's an issue with like content turnaround. There's too much need for the machine to like eat the next clip or whatever it is. So I don't think people are getting like a good enough gestation period to like put out something because they just need more. Where like with TV and stuff when it was slower, and obviously there's like, it's beautiful now because anybody can kind of like do it, but that's also the negative part of it. But yeah, I wish, and I think you can, but I wish people had more time now to develop things. It feels like no one's really developing. Not no one. That's a blanket statement. Talent is being developed, I think, at a lower rate than it has now. They only fuck with you if you already have the platform, if you have the followers, if you're going to be a success right out the gate, where like before there was a little bit more nurturing going on. It felt like, who knows? I might be completely wrong. I know Hollywood's always been pretty cutthroat, but I don't know.
More people are going for viral over timeless.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's different from now is that everybody kind of just lives in the now.
Yeah.
Say like a meme that drops today is not hot next week anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, memes. They're the short ass shelf life too.
So I think some artists get caught up in the idea that, I got to keep putting something out.
Yeah.
But I respect that the people who don't buy into that. It's like, look, I'm gonna put something out when I put something out, and I want to make sure it's good. I don't want to just give you quantity over quality.
Yeah, I feel like they also have the careers that are more prone to longevity, and like, they might be quieter, they might not be on social media, but when the shit comes out, it's like you could feel the bump in quality on some of that stuff. I saw Burr recently, dude, and I mean he's like on another level, but I was like blown away with how quickly, and I think that is like just truly somebody who knows their point of view. So you could give him a fucking newspaper, and if he filters it through how he feels about the world, he could probably write a fucking hour that day about whatever he read. Sure. It might not be like, done, but like I think that's the thing. I guess I don't know, once you learn your point of view, the jokes can come a little bit easier. But I haven't hit that yet. I'm fucking almost 13 years in. I still feel, I'm like, who the fuck am I? I don't know yet.
Yeah, you struggle with that a lot, huh? We all know who you are, but it's crazy how like the self-doubt will get you.
It's
like
hard
that.
to hear it from, it's nice to hear it from other people, but a lot of times I'm the last one to know it.
Yeah.
But that's good, because I think like if you're too confident or you think you know too much, you get knocked down pretty quickly, because I always think people who are insecure are always on the quest to be better, and people that aren't insecure think they're done and they don't have to get any better, It's
a good trait to have.
Yeah, it's painful to fucking live with, but
Yeah.
But it's good for the art or shit you're creating. You're always trying to be better,
Because then there's some people who are not self-aware at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's toxic.
Yeah, I know.
We were talking about this earlier. We actually did a very interesting project. We got booked for an interesting project a couple years ago, huh?
Yeah, it was a money grab for me, dude. No.
Bro, we got our money and we left. Oh, they bought us Buffalo Wild Wings too or some shit.
Pizza. I don't remember what we had actually. But
Anyway, what it was, to explain, so we both got booked for an acting gig. We didn't know that the other person was going to be there, but very basically it was like a PBS style
that's giving it a lot too, dude.
But like that, like educational style clip or like sketch about Hispanics.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Wait, no, okay, so it was like an educational thing, but like it was supposed to be fun and like in the modern-ish era for breaking down history stuff. Ours was about like, was it about like the Brown Panthers? It was like some revolutionary, like Chicano, like college group that came together to like change shit or whatever.
Yeah.
But with all due respect, and I didn't give a fuck. I got it because a friend was working on the production. So I wasn't there like through like casting or which is you got through there like from a casting thing. Right?
Yeah.
So I was a little more like fucked. Like I was like talking shit kind of out loud, and people were like, "Dude, chill out." I was like, "This script fucking sucks. This is ass." Like and then everybody's like, "Oh, like relax." And I just didn't care, but it was fun because it was me, you, Frank Castillo was there, and everybody that was like working on it was cool. But I don't think that it will ever see the light of day.
It might be out there. We just don't know. We got to look for it.
That would be tight, actually. If anybody out there finds it, which I'm gonna look for it actually later.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what the series is called.
It was Veggie Tales,
bro. It was. I'm grateful for having been booked on.
You have
that.
no idea what it's called?
I don't know. I don't even have the fucking email for what it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we could pull it up later.
It was. I think what it was like a proof of concept to like send to like sell to get it made. Actually, I don't think it was like.
Well, apparently they had been doing a series already.
Yeah,
and they did. So they do these educational series culturally to appeal to these colored people, and that day it just happened to be brown people day.
Yeah.
I think Frank Castillo played like a young Cesar Chavez or something.
It might have been something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked nothing about ghosts or anything like that.
Dude, I'm trying to kill time, dude.
But let's talk about it. So do you believe, first of all?
I don't know. I feel like for the most part there is a scientific explanation to most things, but I'd be crazy to think that we know everything that's going on out there. There was this old story that I heard. It was on This American Life or some shit. That this family thought they were being haunted. There were all these like symptoms, all this shit. Turns out it was like back when lamps were like gas lamps, and there was a gas leak in the house, and they were actually having like carbon monoxide poisoning.
Right.
And all the symptoms really lined up with what you would think a haunting is. So that's always like been interesting to me. I always think like that's probably what it is, but also, for sure there's shit that we can't explain, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say that I'm like a full-on believer. Like I'm a big horror movie guy, so like, yeah, this shit's cool. I like it like from a storytelling perspective. But I don't know. Yeah, you? What made you start this? Like, what made you think, I'm doing a ghost thing?
I've always just like kind of sensed things and seen things.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. To this day, I really don't know if it's like otherworldly or if it's just in my head.
Yeah.
So that's basically how we started this, is just to dissect that and like analyze.
I also think there's that thing where like we're not using the full extent of our brains. So maybe sometimes we're like perceiving things that are there, but you know what I mean? Like there's maybe like feeling those things is just you're processing at a different rate that other people aren't, or maybe you're seeing stuff. I've had a couple instances in my life, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say like I'm for sure one way or the other. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I just can't explain the little rushes of adrenaline,
Yeah.
or like the feeling that you're not alone in a room. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that's incurred by. Sometimes, I mean, it could just be anxiety because that feels a similar way,
Yeah.
But what did you see or what did you experience?
So, well, and I don't remember this. My mom or my brother told me this story, and I don't really remember it. But we used to live in this house, and I'm trying to figure out how to. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. So, say I was a little kid. I was taking a bath. And like everybody relax, keep your dick in your pants. I know I'm sexy, but chill. Let's say this is the bathtub, and that was the door to the bathroom. And I'm here, and then beyond the door, there's a hallway that goes this way with two doors on either side. So I'm in here, and my mom said, or my brother, or no, my mom told me that I kept saying, stop it. And I thought my brother kept like peeking his head, like fucking with me while I was in the bathtub, whatever. And I said, stop. Or I said, like, Marquise is like messing with me. That's my brother's name. And my mom said he wasn't home. So whatever the fuck was peeking its head in, who knows? And I have like vague sort of memory of that, like the vision of it happening. But I don't know now if I've created that through years of like hearing the story, whatever. But yeah, so that's the only one that I've had like personally happen to me.
Do you remember what did it like have a face or any kind of features, or was it just a shadow? You felt
I don't know.
like
Well,
someone
so
was
this is
peeking
gonna
in?
sound racist too, but my brother is half black, half Mexican. Looks like a black man, so it was a shadowy figure. No, it was I don't remember. I think it was like one of those things where like out of your peripheral you see like sort of see this thing, and he was like taller, bald, kind of like. So I don't know if it was. In my mind, it looked like him, but it could have been, anything. So that's the only one that's like I feel like really ever happened to me. I mean, I know that. I don't know. Yeah, that. That's about it. I remember being like really scared of shit as a kid. I mean, my dad would tell us like crazy stories. I don't remember a lot of them. A lot of them were Llorona based,
Yeah.
And just like having to go to the backyard or something to grab something at night, and like you straight up feeling like something was like chasing me. It wasn't, but it's that same sort of like on edge feeling we get. I think a lot of this stuff or that feeling, is probably some sort of sixth sense to like, keep us safe, whether it's there or not. We're like maybe picking up on the environment or, I think like, I don't know. I'll go as far as to like, this is completely uneducated and my dumb opinion, but like our bodies are like a huge percentage water. And I think the moon is what makes the tide come in, right? Some sort of like magnetic pool or something. I might be wrong. But if we have water in our bodies, I think there is some sort of like electrical or magnetic connection to like nature. And that might be why we get certain like feelings, why we feel certain things. I don't necessarily think it's supernatural, but I don't know. And that might be the fucking dumbest thing anyone's ever heard. I might be completely wrong, but I'm going to say it with my chest.
No, I get that. For a while.
Fuck, sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
I was
go
going to say,
ahead.
I 100% agree with that. I used to argue against, astrology and stuff like that. And one time this person was like, you think that because... They were arguing against it also, but their argument against it made more sense to astrology to me.
Back it,
yeah. Because he was like, "Oh, you think because the moon affects the tide, that and our bodies are like 80% water, that when I'm being born at a certain time, the moon placement affects where I'm at in my mom's womb."
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that actually makes sense. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if it's affecting everything.
Now I feel much smarter about what I said. No, I'm kidding. No, I fucking hate astrology.
I hate astrology too, but and I don't think that the things that you're like, I don't understand where the words come from.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think there's just something to the fact that like our bodies have water in them, and water is affected by nature somehow.
I guess that makes sense.
But it doesn't give me an excuse to be an asshole because I'm a Capricorn or whatever.
That's your choice. Yeah, I've never understood that as like.
And I didn't mean to shut you down there. He's like bearing his heart, agreeing with me, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Astrology sucks. You're dumb.
Yeah,
I didn't mean that.
I'm on your side with this though.
Okay, great. I like this guy. He's
You guys-
agreeable.
Yeah, you guys are saying the same thing differently.
I'm gonna cry now. No.
You know what's weird, and I don't know much about gravitational pull and science clearly.
Yeah.
But I
Gravitational
remember
Pull sounds like a great Def Jam comedy name.
gravitational.
Ladies
pull,
and gentlemen, give it up for Gravitational Pull.
like a comedian.
Yeah,
name?
yeah.
That's Bruce's homeboy, or what?
Like a white guy who's big though, like a big white guy.
Oh yeah.
What's up, y'all? He's from like Louisiana or something.
That's for sure. The nickname capital of the world is the Def Jam comedy
Oh
special.
yeah, dude. Hell yeah, hamburger.
I kind of like that though. Like, I mean, I'd rather see comedians go by their first and last name, but it
Yeah.
kind of has like a pro wrestling aspect to it.
I
yeah?
guess so. For the most part, I don't know, actually. There's been a few who can do it pretty good.
Yeah. Miss Pat, I mean...
Do you know Orlando Hamburger Jones? You gotta look that up. He's a Def Jam
He sounds
guy.
delicious.
Yeah. He does his like line. He would say hamburger in between everything. You gotta watch it. He's funny, but he'll do a joke and he'll go hamburger. Like you got it. It's great.
What I was saying about the gravitational pull is I remember, and it's probably got nothing to do, but recently I was going through a period of time where I would feel my phone vibrating in my pocket on my lap, but my phone wouldn't be in my pocket.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Have you guys ever felt that?
That's just like phantom limb syndrome. That's because like you're so used to having that shit in your pocket that you'll think that it's still in there when it's not. I think. Yeah.
But phantom. So
No, phantom limbs, like when somebody loses an arm, they still feel like that arm is there. Like they'll get itchy on their hand and shit.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems awful too, man.
I get that, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any more questions? Because if not, I could just keep talking.
About astrology? No.
Let's move on from that. Back to the scary shit.
Just real quick.
I'm still in my head going like, you dumbass. What are you talking about the tide for?
Real quick, phantom ring syndrome is an actual. I don't know if it's an actual thing, but the internet's made it a thing.
Phantom ring?
Like feeling your phone ring. It's
for sure.
Phantom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It happens to us all. Because Apple's in our heads, dude. Apple's in our fucking heads.
Well, that's a whole separate topic. But like, I understand the whole idea of like your phone listening to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but there's times I won't say nothing out loud. I'll just think of stuff and it'll pop up in my phone. And that's where
I remember looking at someone's shoes one time, going like, "Those are cool. I would want them." Then I got an ad for those shoes.
I don't know how that. I don't know at what point they planted the chip in me, but it's in there.
I think what it could be is those people probably have an iPhone. Also, they bought their shoes from an online thing. I think it knows when people like our phones are like near other people's. Maybe they thought, hey, this guy hangs out with this person. They might like the same things. We're going to advertise that shit to this guy.
That is true. Our phones are pinging each other constantly.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think that's like.
But in a different case,
Stop trying to make it real, man.
Like I've had instances where I'm thinking in my head like, oh, I gotta stop by the store and get hangers, or I gotta get body wash, or whatever the case is.
Right, sorry. Nothing. Go ahead.
No, plastic ones.
Oh, okay.
You think you thought that? Really, you've been getting secretly advertised hangers for fucking weeks.
Dude, your thoughts are not your own, dude. Realize.
You guys are fucking with me. Specialize in special.
That's right, dude.
Fuck. That's hilarious.
I don't know how it goes from my mind to there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know? And
we just told you, but that's cool.
Well, no, like I get the shoe thing of like them looking it up and then the phones pinging each other, but sometimes I won't be around nobody and just something that I know is on my to-do list will somehow pop up in my ads.
Do you write this to-do list in your notes?
I should. I'm not organized.
Okay, yeah. I wonder, we'll get back to ghosts real quick for all you hardcore ghost people who are listening to this who are like, when the fuck are they going to talk about that? It could just be that like people be buying hangers. People be buying shit. They're like, what is the most common things people are buying? They have all this data from online shopping from Target, Walmart, Amazon. You're driving in a certain place. They're like, there's the fucking Amazon here or fucking Target here. What are we going to lose by throwing this ad out to this guy? Maybe, I think statistically, more often than not, you're probably on your way to fucking buy some shit. And I don't know, maybe that's it. I think the easiest answer is usually probably the truth, you know?
Okay, you're on Apple's side. I see that.
Yeah, exactly. Sponsor me, Apple. Give me the new phone, please.
You're a door guy at the Comedy Store.
Yes, sir.
Not a paid
paid regular. That one hurt. The second one,
just a regular.
An irregular regular.
There you go. So Comedy Store, notoriously haunted.
Allegedly.
Well, yeah. I think all of them, all ghost stories are alleged, but it's one of those places where I've heard enough tales that I'm convinced. You know.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
You've done that before.
Yeah, dude. I smoke fog juice.
That looked like you really took a hit out of a joint. So the tale is that it was owned by mobsters back in the day. It used to be Ciro's, a nightclub.
Yeah.
And They used to do corrupt shit in the
You
basement.
know who owned it after them?
Who?
Art LeBeau.
Oh, that's right.
He owned the main room. It was a dance club.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fuck. Where to begin here?
So it went from mobsters to cholos.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Which is, fitting.
Yeah.
It went from Big Tony to Big Frank.
Yeah.
Big Frank.
I would have totally fit into an Art LeBeau club back in the day.
For sure, dude. Not with those pants. You can't even fit into those. I think it's interesting. These this ghost hunter show came to the store and we're doing stuff, and then one night this guy brought this fucking meter that's supposed to read paranormal shit, which I think it's probably just picking up copper wires or electricity or something. He's like, it's going off, man. I guess it was going crazy.
Yeah.
But so that you hear that shit all the time. I personally, I've been there a long time. I've been in the main room multiple times late at night by myself with no one around in the dark. I've never seen anything. I've been fucking terrified when I have to go get my charger out of the belly room at night and no one's in there, and so somebody ends up some staff person is using the bathroom and they come out with their flashlight and getting freaked the fuck out thinking it was somebody gonna kill me or something. But I've never seen anything. But I guess, yeah, there's stories that there's all this mafia shit or people that died, that got whacked there or whatever. That the rumor is they would do illegal abortions, blah, 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 whatever. I don't think anybody really, or not anybody I've ever talked to has any sort of hard lined facts about what the place used to be. I think obviously mafia underworld shit is not documented super well by design. But here's a name drop on RIP. But when Bob Saget did Kill Tony, we were in the dressing room in the main room. He came in there and there's a door that it's concreted up and it's an electric there's switches there for the lights and the power. But he told us years ago that was before it was concreted in, that was a stairwell that would go down underneath the Comedy Store, and then that's where the tunnels, they would run shit across the street, or if the cops were coming they could escape that way. I wouldn't even say for sure. I wish somebody had more concrete evidence. I like to believe it because I think it's sexy and fun to think that all this cool shit happened there and stuff. But I'm gonna guess just statistically, I mean, people died there and it's an old building. I feel this with hauntings and shit like that. I wonder how much of it is an actual haunting or a lot of it is in our mind sort of bringing that to the place. We know the history of a place, and so we bring that with us when we go to that place. I've been to New Orleans a few times, and I would say if there's any city in America that is haunted, it's probably that place. But when you go there, is it haunted, or is it that I think it's haunted and there's all this voodoo shit to back that up, and so now you feel it? I don't know if a place is actually haunted or if we make it haunted by the way we think about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You said you've seen shit, so I want to know stuff, because it's I for the most part believe you. I think I think that when you're saying something that you've seen, I don't think you're lying, but I don't know if it's more your perception of the thing, and maybe there are scientific reasons to what you saw, but I don't
that's
know.
why I don't believe mediums or people who do prophetic work monetarily,
I hate that shit. I think those people are charlatans, especially when you're making money off of somebody's heartbreak, telling them we're talking to your daughter who's dead.
Oh, that
chick Sylvia Brown did that. She told this woman once that her her daughter was dead, and then the lady believed it. The lady died, and then they found the daughter after the mom died. So she died thinking her daughter was dead, and she wasn't.
No, for real?
Yeah.
You know what? Sylvia Brown. So she used to be. She used to have like a segment regularly on the Montel Williams
yeah, that's
show,
where
right?
I knew her from. Yeah,
And I remember my family got really into like her prophecies for a bit.
Yeah.
And we would all read the books. So she was tight.
Yeah.
But also it turned out later that she might have been a little bit fake.
yeah,
So she's dead now, R.I.P. But I remember there was some stuff in her book that she had like a list of things that she foresaw, and some of it was on point.
yeah,
But some of it didn't happen.
yeah,
I think she said the world was going to end in like 2010.
yeah. Whatever.
That didn't happen.
Everybody at Nostradamus, all these fools, they have like, you do enough predictions, like some shit's gonna go right.
Yeah.
If I don't know. It's I think it's a numbers game. You ever heard of the Amazing Randy?
No.
He was like a skeptic, and he did a bunch of shit on TV. He basically like offered $1 million prize to anybody who could give him like real proof that these like supernatural things were happening, and he would invite them on, and time after time, every single one, something was wrong. The camera, whatever, they couldn't make it happen, like on whatever. And there's some pretty cool ones where he just breaks it down. He was really like trying to take these fools out, but. Yeah, I don't know. But then also as the horror fan in me and all that shit, I like, but I don't know if I like real ghost stuff. I mean, I grew up Catholic too, so like that's the whole thing with Catholicism and shit is like this like operatic fucking dead guy fucking ghost thing. It's like a very scary religion in a way, just the visuals and stuff like that. And I don't know if I like or want to really like be around like real shit. I like the sort of like theatrical stuff, the fake stuff. I think that ghosts and stuff like that can actually be more of like a useful storytelling thing, or more like just useful for us for like the human experience to like. I think a lot of like those stories revolve around like regret or guilt or like making like positive choices so this thing doesn't haunt you for the rest of your life. I think like if anything, that is the real haunting, is like we are being haunted by our own thoughts and our past, and like what our bad choices, how those things will follow us forever. I think that's like, dude, I fucked up like a week ago. I like nothing huge, but I had this huge like guilt thing, and it felt like a fucking curse. Like that was the only way I was like, oh, this is what people are talking about when they're talking about being cursed. It is like this feeling that you can't get rid of because you fucked up and like touched the wrong fucking monkey paw or opened the wrong book. Or so I do really appreciate ghost stories and things like that as like allegories for like doing the right thing. I'm a big Twilight Zone guy. I think a lot of that shit was a lot of like moral tales kind of woven into supernatural worlds, So I think all this shit is like very useful to the human experience. I do think that there are people that kind of go off the rails with it. They tend to like live there more than in real life. Sure. I wanna use those things to be a better person in my real life, and I think some of those people are avoiding their real lives while like living in this like supernatural realm. They want to, I don't know. So I don't.
Yeah, it's like living in the VR world, and I think that's something that that always appealed to me. Because even before social media, like the grab of like chat rooms and internet and social media is like there's a world out there, and I have access to it.
Yeah, and that's beautiful too. Yeah, for sure. At times.
So seeing ghosts or like paranormal stuff just means like, oh, there's another world right there. And it can interact with our world.
And
too,
also, I'm special. I'm not like, I'm different. I'm. If say you hate your 9 to 5, you hate your life, your wife sucks, your husband sucks, your kids are fucking assholes, your producers are in Spider-Man fucking Long Way Home. No, I think it's like a way to be like feel important and like feel like your life's not all that bad because you have access to this other thing that other people can't see. Same with conspiracy theories, all that shit. I think. There is like, and that's I guess cool too if it gives people like confidence. The problem now is like everybody can sort of like say their opinion, instantly, and sometimes I'm just like but
But I get it. It's like the thrill or like the joy in ghost stories and ghost hunting and stuff like that is very similar to enjoying roller coasters, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because it's an anxiety ridden feeling,
Yeah.
but we live for those like few seconds or those
It's
moments.
controlled
you know?
chaos. Yeah, same with the mosh pit. Same with that. It's I'm reading this Stephen King book right now called Dance Macabre, and it's like it's him on like writing horror stories and like what it takes, and he goes through like books, radio, movies, TV. He's kind of like breaking this stuff down, but he talks about that how like horror is like a way for us to sort of see what the worst of it is so that we enjoy our lives more, or we prep for when we like to think we're prepping for those things happening, or like but he also goes in to say that like people don't like when people like scary movies as long as they can see the zipper on the costume. Because when you can't anymore, it becomes real, and then it's no longer entertainment.
Yeah.
He talks about this movie Freaks that came out back in like the 30s or something, and they cast actual, and that's not a PC term anymore, but like carnival freaks as like the characters, and it didn't do well because people were like, they couldn't see the zipper. These were actual people who had like physical, issues, and it didn't do as good. It's become a cult classic, but like, yeah, there is like escapism for sure. I think that's what you're saying. There is like an escape from the mundane that makes things feel more interesting, more, and that's what I love about it. I mean, I love like Not Scary Farm, all that stuff. I like being scared, but I don't know if I like being actually scared. There are some of these mazes out now where you have to sign waivers because they can grab you, they can separate you from your party. Dude, I got a crazy one for you. I'll tell you after this, or I'll tell you in a bit. But also, dude, there's this mentalist guy who's done these experiments. Have you something Brown? Can you look
Darren
up
Brown?
Darren Brown, yeah. But he does these things of like they made this guy think the world was ending. He like signed up for a thing, the TV broadcast, all this shit, and after they tell him it was all like fake, he like was grateful, and now like whatever went on to live his life to the fullest because he thought he had been through this huge like traumatic event. Or there's one to see what it would take to get somebody to murder somebody, to push them off like a ledge. But I think what it is after you go through this traumatic, scary thing, if you're like a person who wants to do good, you're like grateful, like, oh, thank God. Like, you ever wake up from a nightmare and you're like so stoked that it was fake? Yeah, I don't know. I'm fucking rambling now, but
I think I get what you're saying. Did you ever watch The Game with Michael Douglas?
yeah, like shit like that. Yeah,
The
where you're
Game
just,
by
yeah.
Kelsey Grammer, right?
No.
No,
That's a different one. Okay.
The Game. He had beef with 50 Cent and No, but that's it. That's what I like about the controlled nature of like scary movies. It's like a safe place to be afraid, and then when it's over, you see the credits. You know they're still alive, and like yeah. So I like that sort of shit. I love it. I haven't been scared in a long time like that. My girl was in Chicago recently, and I put on a movie alone in the house, and that kind of got me a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe I just got to be by myself in the house. And you get that, like, endorphin rush, I forgot what the fuck I was going to say when I said
You
I was
said
gonna tell
you were
after.
talking about, like, mazes or waivers where they could grab you?
Oh, yeah. I had a buddy who went to one years ago that was, like, fucking trippy, because I guess when you buy your tickets, you give them your name and, like, access to some of your personal stuff, and I guess he got it. He was walking down this hallway, and in this hallway were like pictures of him with like friends. Like I guess they had taken him from his Facebook or whatever, but he said it was a trip to like walk in, and they had these like photos of him like from his life and shit in this maze. Mm-hmm. But I don't really have interest.
What?
Yeah. Because I guess they had gone like online, probably stalked him online,
wow.
got his shit, set it up, and it was fucking a trip,
That's tight.
That's tight.
Yeah, I don't know. And then there's this guy who has this crazy maze in, I think it's in California somewhere. You have to sign waivers. I think he's in jail now, actually, for some fucking crazy behavior. They've done documentaries on this guy. He's just like a psychopath that's like torturing people.
Oh yeah, I know about these
him?
guys. Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but yeah, I don't know. All that, even like, I think that's just like I don't know. But I don't know if I believe I'd like to. I had a moment once in a mall where I thought I saw my grandma who had passed away on the escalator passing me. But it could have just been some woman who looked like her. I remember once at night I was walking down the street and I like saw what I thought was like a monster's like foot, but then I like went up and it was a homeless unhoused person who had, you see that a lot, kind of like weird skin
Different kind of monster.
disease or something. You said it, not me. I think they're great people, and I really hope we can figure out how to give them the help that they need and try to end this homeless problem before the Olympics come and they just ship them off to Fontana or whatever.
Yeah. There's plenty of space there.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. Watch, when the Olympics come, they're just gonna start fucking coming with flamethrowers and fucking. We gotta clean up the city so people that are visiting think that we look the way we do in the movies.
But also, like, what? I mean, if those people don't want to be helped, like, what are we cleaning up? It's just walk around it, yeah?
I think that. That's such a deeper discussion of like wanting to be helped or whatever.
Spooky.
But no, and I think when you have mental illness and you got to fill out paperwork and then live in a shelter with a bunch of other people, if you're schizophrenic or whatever, I don't think that's like, it's not always the easiest thing to just be like, oh, they have programs, they don't want it. I'm not saying you're saying that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Back to ghosts.
Yeah. So going back to the Comedy Store, have you been in the basement?
The podcast studio, yes.
And has anyone ever experienced? So they said that's where they used to do the illegal abortions, right? Now, in my mind, it's dating
back to... And if you're from Texas, they're still illegal. All right, cool.
Amongst other things.
Think about how haunted Texas is.
Yeah. So the illegal abortion thing, now, I don't know. I've heard multiple stories that it was for their hookers or like their the people that were selling sex for them.
Yeah.
If they got pregnant, they had to remove that.
Yeah.
But also it could have been for their mistresses and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure all of that, right? Because when you're like sort of operating in that underworld, you can kind of make anything happen if you're about that. But yeah, no, I don't know. The building's creepy for sure, dude. Like old buildings. I mean, also in that Stephen King book, he's like, if you're a person who like says nothing is scary enough, whatever, I challenge you to like next time you go see like a ghost movie or a scary movie, drive down like the fucking deserted street in your neighborhood, go find that old house, go inside of it alone, go up to the basement and just sit up there in the quiet, like by yourself for 30 minutes and see if you don't feel like the creaking of the house is fucking freaking you out. Mm. But, as I'm saying this right now, I'm just thinking that I think a lot of these things that we're feeling is definitely like and I said this at the beginning, but like survival, I'm just solidifying it for myself. It's like, it's just a survival thing that we have like ingrained in us to run from jaguars or whatever the fuck like we needed to be afraid of pre like modern living. But yeah, so I mean all that sixth sense stuff, I'm sure like your hair standing up on end, like things like that. I think it's just like it doesn't mean that there's a threat there. It means that there could be, and like maybe we should fucking bounce. You ever see that there was like a TikTok trend for a while where like I think it was cucumbers, like cats are afraid of cucumbers or something like that. You put it in front of them and it's because they're like animal brain identifies it with like a snake, or like they think it's like a snake, so they freak out. So I think we have that in the dark or like other places like that. See, now I feel like I came on here as like a full-on skeptic and I'm not giving you the fucking what you needed.
that all makes sense. That's what I'm open to that too. I know one time that I was at the Comedy Store. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So through the back door, that little restroom right there before you get to the kitchen,
yeah,
there's a window. What's on the other side of that window?
The stairs to the belly room.
Okay. So I remember one time, and this is the only weird experience I've ever had at the Comedy Store. I was peeing at the urinal. There was no one else in the restroom. And I remember a weird, like, white fog or, like, mist coming into the window. Like if somebody blowing,
was vaping outside.
Well, it didn't smell like anything, nothing like that. So it was not a foggy, cold night, nothing like that. But the air was thick, kind of like the fog machine here.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Look at that.
And I just didn't know how to explain it, you know?
Look at that. It works.
Hit that shit. Pass that when you're done, huh?
Oh, fuck, dude. I'm fucking faded, dude.
Have any of your friends or coworkers ever experienced anything crazy?
For sure. So I got a funny... Oh, fuck, my phone's charging. So this is one that I want to... before I forget...
Do you want to grab your phone real quick?
No, I'm good because I'll remember it. So Jeff Scott, he R.I.P. He was the old piano player at the Comedy Store. He passed away like during COVID at some point, but he was there for a long time. Great guy, fucking real good storyteller. That would have been a banger guest for this shit. But he passed away, and he used to sit at the piano in the OR. Now there's this whole thing that there are times when like the lights are weird, or the pianos won't work, or the speakers are fucked up, or the mic, whatever. And I think a few weeks ago, something was going on. Kaylee Chase, who plays piano now, she was like, something's going on with these lights, whatever. Sometimes I think, I might be wrong about this, and that this is why I was going to grab my phone, but it doesn't matter. It'll all make sense in a second. That she'll like ask Jeff, like, what should I do? Or she thought it was like kind of Jeff, like kind of fucking with stuff. Or sometimes she'll say his name and then things will work. But the other day she was like, can you maybe it needs to be a guy that comes in, does this, did this, whatever. Well, Jeff was gay, and she's like, well, maybe it has to be like a gay guy to do this. So she had somebody come, and when they did it worked. Eric Rocha, you gay guy. Come for me, you fucking. I don't mean like that, whatever you're thinking.
Wow.
Bitch. No. I love Rocha. We have a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess there is this belief that the ghost of Jeff Scott is like at the Comedy Store, and one of the newer ghosts there because he just recently passed. But I don't know. If I can suspend my disbelief for a second and go, yeah, that makes sense. Like he was a part of the store, like a real staple there, really, always there. I could see if there was some sort of way to travel interdimensionally or whatever it is that he would end up there as his spot to fuck around and kind of like still play around with people. But anyway, yeah, the lights when the shit started working. Yeah, let me grab my phone real quick. I want to see exactly what happened.
There's video?
Okay, so here was the text. She said, listen, guys, for weeks I've been trying to turn Jeff Scott's light on. Oh, he's got like a neon sign with his name on it. They did it for him after he passed. But it's finicky. It worked a couple weeks ago, but not for a while. Angie said we had to ask a man, better, a gay man. And Rocha turned it on immediately. Proof of Jeff's gay ghost haunting this place. Happy October. So that was, that's one of those things. That in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure I could figure out some sort of like actual proof of why this happened. But it's nice to believe it. I think it makes people feel good. It makes them feel like their friends are around still and stuff like that.
Any more? That's kind of like a joyful one. Is there anything that's more like a little more horrifying that
Sinister.
you've heard from the?
No, I know that there's like on YouTube there's like a thing where they did a ghost hunter episode there. I know Bobby Lee's told a story once about going up to the belly room and there was like people doing some weird like ritual,
like a seance
like
or
with
something,
hoods on, some sort of shit like that. Man, yeah, I fucking love. There is that story of like Houdini was doing like when his mom passed. I think it was his mom. He like became obsessed with trying to contact her from beyond and would hold seances all the time. And I think for Houdini too, when he died, his wife did them for years after he died, like every year, I think on Halloween, to try and like contact his spirit and stuff. I know the Magic Castle and certain places will put on like seances like every year, sort of how they used to do them. Like basically like all the seances were done by like fucking hucksters and like charlatans, like who were like rattling shit with their like foot
shit.
or whatever. But I said to my girlfriend, I was like, oh, every year they do like these fake seances here, and she goes, oh, you mean a seance? And I was like, yeah, like they're fucking, you know. I think I don't know if I believe the fucking seance thing either. There's just too much proof that it was like people really trying to. That might be the worst of society, is like people who are taking your money to like have you talk to your dead relatives and stuff. If they know they're being fake about it, you know.
I think seances would work. Like if I was a ghost trying to be seen and someone was inviting me to be seen, I think it would make sense that they transcend over.
Like a moth to a flame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the Ouija board. Like I don't know if that's all energy. Like I've had times where I've done it and it's worked.
Yeah.
So there's got to be. Sometimes I feel like it's got to be. Like it can't just be in my head. You know.
I wonder. Yeah, I think I've Googled it for sure in the past, like the science behind like the Ouija board and stuff, and there is some sort of like scientific breakdown to like our muscles sort of subconsciously like moving it, or like, you know, you ever done that thing where you fucking this one where you're like that, or you do you put your hands like this or something, and then somebody tie a fake string around it, and then your fingers start to there's a motor skill thing that happens there. I don't know, but here's the thing. It's like, also, I don't believe it, but also I'm not going to fucking play a Ouija board. Like, but why? If I don't believe it, why wouldn't I do it? You know? So there's something that's like ingrained in me, whether it's from Catholic school, where like I still have that fear that like, what if, you know? So as much shit as I've been talking about being like completely anti, or I don't know, it's like there are certain things that there is a deep in my reptile brain or whatever child brain where like I'm like, well, I don't want to risk it. I don't know. So I don't know if I would touch a fucking Ouija board, you know, like I'd like to be like, yeah, it's bullshit, it's all fake, but then, you know, it might freak me the fuck out if I did it. Yeah. So what is that? You know, there's a bit of like not sureness in my mind. So maybe I'm not as like hard-lined as I'm saying outwardly, you know, in reality.
Well, that's the thrill of it, is you don't know what can happen or what is on the other end of that, you know?
Yeah, so I don't know. As I'm saying this right now, I'm like, yeah, you know, who knows? I think as much as I'd like to believe there isn't anything, I don't know. And does it freak me the fuck out? Yeah. So maybe there is like an inkling of like, you know, maybe I do fear what I maybe don't understand, you know?
That's deep.
Yeah. We all do.
You were talking about like stories handed down from your dad.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple stories, and the reason that I most believe them is I've said this before in other episodes, is that Mexican dads don't really stand for a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And they don't believe in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But they all have stories of stuff that they can't explain, you know?
Yeah.
I know my dad, he told me that when he was a kid, so he lived out in like a ranch, like up in the mountains in a ranch. They live secluded, like separate from the
allá el rancho grande, allá donde vivía.
That song starts playing after he walks into any
right
room.
now the fucking jukebox turns on and starts playing, dude.
Jeez. No, so they live in like a rural part of Mexico up in the mountains, and back then there wasn't like even really roads or like stores or nothing like that. He said there was one store and they had to walk like a couple miles.
Yeah.
So he said one night that him and his brother were walking out there and it was getting dark. So they hear a truck driving behind them. So when they turn to move out the way, that out of nowhere, the truck just floated into the sky. So he suspected that it was like a UFO or something like that. That is a whole nother
I know.
side of paranormal.
But it's like, well, what? Is he lying? Probably not. Like that. I believe they saw something.
Yeah.
But like, what the fuck is that? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love, God, see, I wish we should have a one scientist follow every family from here on out so they could explain all these sort of things. Because like, maybe it was something to do with the light or some shit, or what, you know, the road carried sound, or like, I don't fucking know. But that's like, I don't know. That's pretty like, yeah.
Well, that's on some Space Jam shit too.
Yeah,
you know?
for
He saw the
Space
truck
Jam.
coming.
El Space Jam.
Yeah, so he's told me that. Man, I can't really draw a lot of other stories that he's told me, but I know this place is somewhat haunted too.
Yeah.
The owner actually recently told me a story, and this is before he knew that we were recording this podcast. I was just setting up for work one night, and he came in, he busted in through the back door. I'm like, oh shit, I thought it was the ghost in here, and he goes, oh no, but there is a ghost in here. Fuck. I'm like, oh man, when you hear from the owner, it's like, you know, He said that one night, and he calls it sex ghost.
Okay.
He said that one night.
Of course he does. He's a man. Right, sorry. That's all they want.
That the alarm went off in the middle of the night because it detected motion.
Yeah.
So he said that the police were called out here and everything, and he was watching the cameras the whole time and from his home, and that it looked like there was two people sitting in here having sex. And he told his girlfriend at the time, he's like, hey, what does this look like? She goes, oh, it looks like there's a girl on her knees giving someone head. Yeah. So obviously he rushed down here, you know, but he wasn't going to come in before the police.
It does give a new meaning to succubus. All right, go ahead.
Love it. I love it. We'll talk about succubus too. We've never delved into that. But
yeah, that's crazy. I want to see the photo. I want to see the footage, man.
Yeah,
where's it at? Why is it not framed in the fucking bar, man?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We would pay. You got to pay $0.25 to see the picture.
Yeah, exactly. That's old school, man.
Little peep
Maybe
show.
it's this fucking big orange guy who's fucking haunting this place.
He looks like he's fucking everything.
Yeah, he's fucking up the wall. I'll tell you that. He's coming through it like the Kool-Aid, man.
Well, basically, so they both seen that on the camera.
Yeah.
It was very vivid, and the lights were off, so they just see shadows, you know?
Yeah.
So when he got here, he let the police come in first, and that even the police, like, came in slowly.
It smells like Badusi in here.
It smells it smells like underarms and sweat. What's going on? Yeah. And they sensed like something was in here, and they seen it on the cameras too. But when they came in, there was nothing.
Yeah. And they just started shooting the ghosts.
No questions asked.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Put your hands up.
So that was one story, and that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Motion detector, because I don't know how deep the sensitivity is. Actually, I had my cousin just text me last night that she was watching this podcast, and right after she got alert that there was motion detected in her living room, and she saw orbs, and she sent me pictures of these, which we'll post later.
Yeah,
but that's crazy to me, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of times those orb things have been like disproved, but you know, again, I don't fucking know. If it happened to me, I'd probably drive myself crazy trying to like prove that I actually saw the shit, you know. But
it's two things. So it's the motion detected first, and then the orbs. So in most cases, I don't believe orb pictures or anything like that, because everything could be altered.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just like light hitting the lens or whatever it is.
Yeah. So we've heard stories of homies from the Comedy Store. We've heard stories of things that you thought you experienced. So, all in all, to say that, where do you think you stand now? You got to identify as something. Are you a believer or are you a skeptic?
I'm a skeptic, I think. Yes, I'm a skeptic. Will I play a Ouija board? Probably not. But I don't know. I like to find the truth in everything. So I think like, I don't know. I would like those things to be real, but I think I'm always sort of trying to prove that they're not. So yeah, skeptic.
Yeah. You know what? I'll be honest. I think that anytime I do go to the Comedy Store, it's kind of more on the side of like, let me see if I can see something.
Really? Yeah.
Know?
Yeah.
I think that intrigue really pulls me in.
Yeah.
But anyway, this has been our episode.
Hell yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
I hope it was ghosty enough for you guys. Sorry, I know we fucked around a lot.
We fucked around a lot. But again, this is our series finale.
What's the show called?
Gray Night Sweats.
Gray Night Sweats. Cool, love it. There's a that sounded so sarcastic. You guys, I think you talked about sleep paralysis. You said,
Yeah.
if you're out there, you ever seen that picture called The Nightmare? It's an old like painting. It's in a Detroit museum. This guy painted this photo. It's somebody sleeping and there's this little like demon goblin like sitting on their stomach. It's a very cool painting. If anybody's out there is interested in fucking art, go Google that. It's cool.
It's called what?
It's called The Nightmare. It's I guess it's like, you know, kind of an interpretation of sleep paralysis, but it's pretty cool. I like it.
But I got to go to a museum to see it?
You can see it online. Google it. I'm just saying I know as a connoisseur of fine art.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's tight, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's
I was
fucking
gonna
cool. Yeah,
say,
it's pretty
museums,
cool. Yeah.
education,
I talk a lot
scary.
of shit, but I know about paintings and stuff.
My boy knows art.
That's right.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a great series. That's episode 5. Josh, how do you feel about it?
I feel great. I have a couple of random things to talk about.
Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't find your last episode of Kill Tony, but it says that one of your final appearances was on episode 500, and your first episode was 142.
Okay.
So
wow.
that was February 2016.
Damn. All right.
So if you know the other half of that, then you could do the rest of that math.
Real quick, though. You performed at the Forum.
Yeah.
You're in company with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Magic John. How
Pretty
did that
crazy.
feel?
Pretty amazing, dude. Dream.
As
for
a kid from LA?
Yeah, I wore my fucking Shaq jersey. It was sick, dude. It was amazing. Yeah. I climbed the scaffolding, all that shit. It was fun.
Man, you talking about Shaq real quick. I just want to tell this quick story before we leave. Is that I was a big fan of Shaq when I was a kid, to a point where like I felt safe. Like if shit was ever gonna go down, he would.
Same, dude. That was the fucking effect, you know.
So my childhood home was notoriously haunted.
Yeah.
And I remember I would see shadows through the windows, reflection. And here's the thing: before I would go to sleep, I would say one prayer to God.
Yeah, and one to Shaq.
I'm like,
that's amazing. I love this,
bro. If there's robbers or there's ghosts, I'm a big enough fan of you that you're gonna sense it. You're gonna show up and you're gonna kick this guy's butt.
Yeah. Hell yeah! All you had to do was fucking rub the boombox.
Yeah,
you would have showed up. Oh, Frank, you're being haunted.
Oh man,
you had more stuff to say to me?
Yeah. Another thing that you mentioned, James Randi.
Yeah.
James Randi has an Educational Foundation's $1 million paranormal challenge. It started in 1964, and you can win $1 million. It's still open to this day because no one's ever claimed the prize. If you can prove any
fakes.
sort of paranormal activity through scientific means.
wait, you got to do what?
Prove under controlled setting that paranormal stuff's real. So like if you're a mind reader, you got to prove that you can read someone's mind. If you got ghost shit, you got to fucking prove that ghost stuff is real some kind of way.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why I don't believe those mediums in like Hollywood.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Sure.
I think a lot of those things, like the Ouija board, you know what I mean? I think that they're fun. They're fun, but like the Ouija board didn't even start in anything spiritual. It was a parlor game for like friends to be like, who does Tracy have a crush on? And it's like they would do that kind of thing. Like, which one of us is moving it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it gained like like a spooky context.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah.
But there's some other level to paranormal stuff, you know what I mean? Because like we're living entities in this planet, you know what I mean? And we exist on this weird place, you know what I mean? We're floating in space. So like obviously life exists on this planet, you know what I mean? So there's got to be some kind of weird thing going on. There's a ball of gas burning.
I'm sure there's stuff we can't
it's crazy
explain.
as
Yeah,
shit.
that's why I'm like, I'm skeptical, but I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking who does?
Astrology,
Exactly.
ghosts, paranormal.
Zoom in on his face. What does it all mean? And how can we make money off of it? Tonight at 9.
That's the real question.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been so much fun. Thank you for joining us, Joel. Love you, brother.
I love you too, man. Thanks for having me.
Many luck and fortunes for you in future endeavors. I hope your comedy career goes very far. And I'm not just saying that because I know that you'll let me open for you once you make it big.
Yeah, 100%.
But anyway, Again, this has been Gray Night Sweats, episode 5. Happy Halloween. My name is Frank Ulloa.
I just got the gray sweats thing, by the way. It took me a while. I'm not operating on the most.
You know what? Actually, let's do 5 more minutes of podcast.
I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. I have a long drive.
You guys been great. Thank you.
Yeah.